Shalom, good morning. This is the second year here at Samanakshi, and I'd like to welcome everybody. We're here on Rehov Zikr Yaakov, number 6, in the Beit Knesset of Chanukah Yeshivas here in Yerushalayim Kodesh. We're close to the central bus station. We're learning Mishna Berura right now, and we're learning about Hilchos Chanukah, getting ready. Mr. Shem Chanukah in another 10 days or so. And we're here in Kaf Reish Ayin Aleph, Sif Hey. I'm going to skip a few halachas and we go to Sif Hey, which is more relevant for most of us. Amram, you like to start off first, please? In the Machaber, right? Sif Hey.
Ner Chanukah, manicho al petach samuch lishut harabim mibachutz. The lights of Chanukah you put on this by the door on the outside of the public area.
Good.
Im habayit patuach lishut harabim. If the house opens to Rishus Harabim, the public domain, maniach al pitcho, you put it by the door. Ve'im yesh chatzer lifnei habayit, and if there's like a courtyard before front of the house, then you put it at the entrance of the courtyard.
Okay, let's just review that again. We have a few different Hilchos Chanukah in a certain way is complicated because where you're supposed to light really depends upon the configuration and the architecture of your home, right? Depends on where your doorway is situated to the thoroughfare of the Rishus Harabim, or if it's going to be a window, or if it's going to be inside. And there are a lot of details in terms of finding out where the general rule is. You light where it's going to be the most presuming nisa, where there's going to be the best publicity for the miracle. Our job, aside from Hodos LaHalel, that's one aspect of Hanukkah, to give praise and thanksgiving to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's our avoda during prayer, during our tefillas. During the evening, we have another avoda, we have another job to do on Hanukkah, which is called Presuming Nisa, to publicize the miracle that Hashem did. Right? So when you're trying to fulfill your mitzvah of publicizing the miracle, you have to try and do it in the best way possible. Anyone's been knows anything about advertising, marketing, you always look for the best location, the highest profile that you can possibly get for your product, the best usage of the area, what it was going to be. So when you're going to try and advertise the miracle of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that He made the Nisim and flows during Hanukkah, you want to find the best location to do your advertising. So that's what we're learning about. So Ner Hanukkah manichai al Pesach Samatul Shusaramim b'chutz. You have to put your Ner Hanukkah on the doorway, which is right there adjacent to the public thoroughfare, the road where people go, on the outside. Now, if your bias is Pasuach L'Rishus Harabim, then you put the Ner Hanukkah right there on the doorway, going straight out to the Rishus Harabim. Right? Ve'im yesh kotzer lifnei habayis. Let's say you have a courtyard before you go out to the roadway, to the thoroughfare. So then you put the Ner Hanukkah on the doorway of the chutzner, which is the most extreme external doorway going to the public thoroughfare, because that's where you get the most traffic. You want the Ner Hanukkah to be in the place where the most traffic and has most access to be seen by the traffic by the people in the public area. Now, continue. Let's say that's if he's on the ground floor. Up till now we're discussing lighting menorah if he's on the ground floor.
V'im hayadar baliyah, but he lives like on the first floor above.
Or even any upper level. Meaning in the time of Chazal, because this is based on the Gemara, right? They didn't have too many stories, right? But in our time, there's almost you can have many. So you do it. How way you do it? V'ima yidor bali. If you live on the upper level,
she'en lo petach patuach that his door does not open to the public domain. Manicho b'chalon asamuch l'sharabim. He puts it by a window which is close to Rishus Harabim, that faces Rishus Harabim.
Right. So, like for example, let's say if he has a Pesach which is a Pesuach to Rishus Harabim, meaning let's say he has some type of a open porch open hallway, so the doorway goes out to an open doorway, and that open doorway overlooks the Rosh Hashanah, so we can light there, right? Or let's say if he goes down, or if he goes downstairs a doorway which goes outside to Rosh Hashanah, he could also light downstairs if he has a stairway going down. But if he doesn't have any of that, which goes out to a public thoroughfare, then he lights on the window which is adjacent to the thoroughfare. Okay?
Vishat sakana, in time of danger, she'en rasha l'kamitza, you cannot do the mitzvah, couldn't get outside.
Right, we were stopped because of danger to light outside. Right, there were public laws against Jews lighting menorahs outside, and it would be dangerous to do so. So therefore, where do you light then?
Manicha ala shulchan v'day, he puts it on the table, and that's enough.
That's right. You light on the table, and that's enough. Okay. Now, so in that case, right? Now we'll see. The next part of the mechaber, we have to try and realize what this next part of the mechaber is referring to. Okay.
V'tzarich ner achad leishtamish dor, and you need one candle to light the candles.
Lishtamish lori. Well, literally, I think it means to use the light. Meaning, meaning we haven't gotten to it now in halacha yet, but we know, right? Neros halalo kodeshim, right? The neros of Hanukkah are kodesh, and therefore it's usher lishtamish with them. We can only see them, and you can only enjoy the light, basically for the enjoyment of seeing the light of the menorah. We can't use the light of the menorah for any mundane purpose. Even to learn by, we'll see about that. Well, we can't really use the light at all, right? So therefore, what the Mechaber is teaching us over here, you need a ner acher, you need another additional candle light in order to use that light. Meaning, if you want to use the light of a menorah, you're going to need to have an extra additional light, right? Now, that is. The question will be, and we'll try and be careful with our learning of the halakha, does that mean that you need a light, meaning, what are you lighting the menorah with? Are you lighting the menorah with the shamish that's being described with here in the mechaber? Or,
yes.
Oh, hold on. Hold on, why can't I'll use a match. Can a Sephardi use a match? You know, one of those long matches, these big long, 2
Because
minutes long.
the way I understand that he's talking, I'm thinking of a Moroccan menorah.
Yeah.
That it was all oil, so you needed an extra candle to light the menorah.
Okay.
So I wasn't thinking of this as a shamus for the menorah. I was thinking that to use it to light the menorah with.
Okay, good. So that we're going to have to see. That we're going to have to see exactly what the whole concept of the shamish, right? Is the shamish is another independent candle from the menorah, and it's not used for anything. It's lit independently from the menorah completely. It's not used for anything. And then, well, how do you go ahead and light the menorah? Can use a flicker.
Right, yeah.
Can use a flicker, right? Is there a halacha in what I have to use to light the menorah? And is that the shamish or not? So that we'll be sensitive to how we're learning the mechaber and the rest of the portion as to what's the shamish? What's the shamish all about? Okay, but sorach ner achil yishtamish lo.
Saying that it could be an extra candle that you have to light and then use another source for lighting.
Maybe you could, or maybe you could use, if you're using wax candles, so it's very easy to understand. You could maybe even use that candle, right? Use that candle that you're using as the extra candle, the shamish. That shamish is going to be used to light the mother. Because the question will be also, what do you light first, right? Do you light the shamish first, or you light the ner of the mitzvah first?
If you have candles, you light the shamus, and if you don't have candles, you light the shamus also.
So it depends if you're using oil or there's a practical consideration also here. Because the halakha may change depending on what you're using to light. Right? If it's oil, it's very hard. Possibly, maybe they could. Again, we don't use these things very much. But in the times when they were very used to using oil and wicks and all these things, maybe they could possibly have some type of a oil type of a candle.
You've
That's on the
seen that
side.
from the old countries, but
You didn't see
I
that.
didn't see it. We used the candle. That's the old country.
Use the wax candle. Yeah.
And ours was hanging on the wall. I mean, or like the old Moroccan ones,
Yeah.
Arabic ones,
Sure.
which I saw. I happened to have seen in Budapest when I was just there.
Yeah, no, that's also very, very, very
So
common.
that's the
Very
same-
common. They would hang that on the side, right by the doorway. That was I have one in my house from I can't. It was from one of my great aunts a long time ago.
Ashkenazi. Totally.
Yeah. Let's see the rest of the cover.
See a real candle.
Excuse me?
You gotta go watch to see a real candle.
Oh, that's a real candle. Okay. So that's what the Megaber says. Shroit ner achil ishtamish lora. Literally, you need another candle in order to use the light. Okay, v'im.
In Budapest, the menorah is like in Morocco. They hang on the wall,
Yeah,
and the shamus is on top.
Yeah. I have one of these in my house. It's from it's a family heirloom. Yeah.
Sure, you should not have Sephardic, but
Maybe. No, you'd be surprised. A lot of Ashkenaz,
Right, yeah.
Ashkenaz, they came through Amsterdam. Many Jews from Amsterdam came from Spain, so that's a Sephardi. They're from Amsterdam. They went into different various places in Europe, and
That's right.
they may very well be.
we're all intermarried.
We're all Jews.
Amen.
Very good. Yeah.
V'im yesh medura, ain't tzarich nerachad. If you have like a torch, I guess, a light in the room, you don't need an extra candle. V'im hu adam chashuv, she'ein darko l'shtamish ol hamedura, tzarich nerachad. When if he's a very important person, that he doesn't use this, I don't understand, this...
Medura. It might be a fireplace. You know,
Fireplace.
Medura, like Medura is literally,
Okay.
you find this in Hilchos Yom Tov. It's like some type of what we could certainly call a bonfire. Medura, even if it's you have a candle which is a Medura, you have 2 wicks, so it's a large fire. Medura is basically a large fire. It could be a fireplace. It could be.
So tzarich nerachad. So I don't understand. If a person doesn't use a medura,
Yeah.
right? So you say that he has to have he has a shamus. But if he doesn't have a medura, then he has to have some kind of light. If he's a hushik person, he would have a light in the room, whether it's a kerosene lamp, and he's going to have another light. So I don't understand what this. If he doesn't use the medura, then he's a shamus.
Okay, so hold on. Let's learn Mr. Berura, and let's see. We'll try, and then we'll try and clarify your
What's the
question.
Medura?
What? Let's a fireplace. Let's call it a fireplace. It's a fireplace. It's got a fireplace.
So what's he doing with the fireplace?
Well, the Baruch Hashem doesn't do anything. He doesn't touch it. He doesn't get himself dirty and sooty and smelly and smoky with us. He has his servants to handle the fireplace. He doesn't touch the fireplace. Because he's not kosher. Right?
What's Shlomo saying?
Why is it meaning?
If you have a fireplace, you don't need a shamash. Because you have a light in the room already from the fireplace.
No,
So you have to light another
True.
candle.
So that's the question. Why should Adam Pasha make a difference if it's Adam Pasha? He's got a light in the room. So let's see. Let's take a look at the Mishna Berura. Not too many Mishna Beruras here, a few. So again, we were taught originally that you have to have the lighting of the menorah on the Pesach, the doorway, which is as close to the Rishus Rabbim as possible. Samach Rishus Rabbim. Sif Kadin Chav Aleph. Everyone have it there?
No, mibachutz, from outside. Mishum Pirsum, and he said, because you want to miracle, you want to show the
We want to
miracle.
publicize the
Publicize
miracle. That's our job. Now, during Hallel, we're supposed to be Hallel Hodos. We're supposed to thank and praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? During the lighting of menorah, we're supposed to advertise, publicize the miracle. That's our job.
V'kamefarish ve'azel ketzad im habayit v'chulei.
Okay. Now it can be explained as we go along exactly how are you supposed to do this.
Ve'im yesh chatzah lifnei habayit, and if there is a court in front of the house, ve'chatzotehen hayir betuchot l'shus harabim, and their doors are open to the Rishus Rabbim.
Right, meaning that's
How
to
could that be?
Well, it's like this. You have
Rishus Rabbim meaning from the courtyard,
you have
or
your
Rishus Rabbim
house.
from the street?
No, you have your house, Then in front of the house there's a courtyard.
Okay.
Then there's like let's say a wall or some type of a fence or something like that, which is a barrier between the roadway, the sidewalk, and the courtyard, which is leading to the house, right? So therefore, you have another doorway right by the sidewalk.
Okay. So you want to put it on the outside to the street.
Right.
Okay.
Right. For example, just here, you have this room here. Let's say this is your house. You have your house. You have this door. Let's say the hallway is your chutzner.
Right.
And there's another
Right,
going out.
that's
Going out to
yeah,
the street.
Right.
So you wouldn't light it by this door because no one's going to see it because no one's going to see you in the hallway. So then you light it outside by the roadway, right? And so the Mishna was saying that's when you're talking that the common case was that their courtyards would lead out to the Rishus Harabim, right? So I mean you can have this similarly. Let's say you have a single family house in America, right? So then a single family house in America you would light by the front door, right? Usually, let's say there's a front yard, right? There's a lawn in the front yard, right? So usually you'd be lighting by the window anyway. But let's say you light for some reason by the doorway. You light by the doorway in the front yard, right? Let's say the backyard, right? That's not leading out to Rishus Harabim, so you can't light there.
Right. She'en lo petach patuach b'shuvah rab. That his door doesn't open to Shabbat because it was on the top floor.
There was an upper level, so he has no doorway. I mean, if he has no doorway that leads out to the Rishus Harabim, like let's say he how does he get from the ground floor to him? Maybe he's got an elevator, or maybe a stairwell, right? So that's going to take him directly down into the inside of another dwelling, right? So therefore he has no doorway which leads out to the Rishus Harabim. So therefore he lights by the window.
וגם אין לו פתח בתוך החצר, אלא פתוח היא לבית. And he has no door open to the courtyard, except he opens it to he puts it at the door of the house.
Very good.
V'sarich ner acher, and we need another candle. Lasot haker ladavar, to do what's haker?
To make a distinction.
A distinction to this, meaning the menorah.
Oh, so we have in terms of what is this shamish that the Mechaber is talking about, we have a first inkling of what we're discussing over here. What's the shamish for?
To make a difference.
To make a difference. What is that supposed to mean exactly? To make a difference between what and what?
Between this candles and this candle.
Chodesh v'chol.
That's right. The candles, you can't use the light of Chanukah.
Yeah.
You need another candle so you can use light in the house.
Well, that's not what it says. It means you have to make a distinction.
To make the distinction between ladavar to the thing. What is the distinction?
What's the davar?
The davar is, are we talking about the menorah, the candling of the menorah? No, that's what we're talking about.
I'm trying to work it out. I mean, it's only 3 words here, right?
Yeah, 3 words, but very hard. Harder than the ones with 20.
Lasos heker ladavar. So, okay, the first 2 words are not so hard. Lasos to make, heker to make some distinction, ladavar to this thing. So what is this thing? Let's try and just say, what is this thing?
We're talking about the menorah.
The Chanukah candles.
Chanukah candles.
The Hanukkah candles. So by putting a candle there, how are you making a distinction?
It's extra.
You're making a distinction by having another candle, so you don't use those candles. So
Now you're adding. Now you're adding.
You're right. I don't know.
I don't know either.
No, Rabbi, you can't say that. You're the rabbi. You have to know.
We have to find out. That's what we have to find
It
out.
says, but in the Mechaber, it says, it's near here, it's the Mishna Arom.
Yeah.
To use it.
They use it.
That's the heck, so that's different between them.
Yeah.
This you're allowed to use, and this
Yeah.
you're not.
So
It's Chodesh
Kodesh L'chol. That's it. Look, with the Mechaber, it's not so different. I don't know. I'm trying to understand how the Chafetz Chaim is helping us out over here, right? If it's the point that the Shamish, right, is coming to matir that I can use the light, meaning if I've got 1 candle here burning, first night Chanukah, 1 candle burning, and that's all I've got burning in this room, right? I can't use any light in this room, right? I cannot use any light in this room. The only light I have in this room is from the one there of Hanukkah.
Right.
I have no other light in this room. I can't. You know, there's a halacha by Hilchos Shabbos, right? If a goy will come in intentionally and light on there, you have no light in the room, right, in your house. If a goy will come in, non-Jew will come in and light a light for you in this room, right? You've got to leave this room. If it's your house, you've got to leave your house.
That's right, 'cause they're for you.
He did it for you. You've got to leave the house.
That's right.
We're on Shabbos?
On Shabbos?
No, yeah.
At night.
Anytime.
Well, if it's in
Yeah,
the
in the daytime, you're not gonna-
If you have a window, if you have
Yeah,
a
that's
window,
right, you're not gonna help.
But at night,
He
yeah.
did it for himself, it's fine.
If you're in a
It's
dark
not so
apartment
simple,
today, it
but
turns
it's
on the
better.
electricity, you
Not
have
so simple,
problems.
it's better.
Why didn't we go
If you're in a dark room,
it
it turns on the electricity.
Right.
We need to find
But
something.
we're saying on a Chanukah night, what, you're not gonna have an electric light on something?
Yeah. If he turns
That's
on
what
for
we're
himself,
trying
it's
to do.
better.
That's what I'm saying.
It's better. It's not 100%.
10 minutes later, it goes off.
All right, so you have your 3 pieces of meat, 2 pieces are kosher, 1 piece is non-kosher. According to the Torah, the 2 pieces which are the majority are mavato, the 1 piece which is a minority. Question whether or not you can eat them individually, because what do you have if you eat 1? So you say, well, 1 out of the 3, the odds are that I'm eating the one which is kosher. You have only 2 left now, right? So now, if you eat the next one, right? So now it's maybe a 50-50 chance. Okay, 50-50 chance, fine. Okay, well, maybe be lenient with that too. But the last one, so what did you just told me? The first one I ate was kosher. The second one I ate was kosher. So what's left? The non-kosher one. So how can I eat the third one?
It's Mavato, it's Mavato.
So some Rishonim, it's not focus Rishonim, some learn that you can only eat them all together at one
eating.
shot, one eating. Right? If it's zeh, it's not so simple because you're left with the possibility that the last one, even according to the odds, right? Or you could say that the whole thing is changed over to heter, right? The whole the actual essence of the non-kosher meat became actually permissible as well, and so you can eat the whole thing, even zeh. So the question you're asking is, well, if you're going to go according to Rove or something like that, so you have 1 candle. So on the first night you have 1 candle permissible and 1 candle negative, so it's half and half. If you have 1 on the second night and then 2 on mitzvah night lights on the second night, so now they're the majority, and that's the majority to tell you that you're not allowed to use it. So this is a question that's asked, and so we'd say since the light is what we call a teruvus, it's a mixture of permissible light and unpermissible light. So enough, it's a slight mixture which is permissible.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good question though. And there are a lot of explanations, not just one explanation. I'm just giving you one of many explanations about it. So therefore, what Mishna just taught us that what you've got yourself, if you have a fireplace over here, and you have light from another source, so why am I lighting this light? Obviously I'm lighting this light because of the mitzvah, right? So I don't need a shamish, because what's the shamish coming to do? And the way this, from what we've learned from Mishna, what's the shamish coming to do?
Shamas?
Yep.
Permission. Gives permission to use the light.
No, it's a hecker.
It's saying that's a
Separation.
It's
The other
saying
one's a mitzvah.
That's a
this is
separation.
not.
it's what's the separation? Like Rachman said, by lighting another light, it's saying that this light I lit is a mitzvah light, right?
Okay.
Because why? Because why would I light another light if I have light from one already? If I have a Berura, if I have my fireplace burning and blazing, this light throughout the room, why am I lighting another unnecessary light? My light is unnecessary, so it must be for the mitzvah, right? So if I light another light, a shamish, so I have light in the room, so why am I lighting an unnecessary light? It must be that this light is an unnecessary light. It must be that it's a mitzvah light.
And therefore?
And that's the hecker of the shamish. The shamish is providing me a hecker that the light that I'm lighting is for a mitzvah. It's part of the person we nisa. when I advertise the nace, I have to advertise the miracle in a way that it's proven through you're looking at this light that's being lit, that it's a mitzvah light that I'm lighting. Not that I'm lighting a light that I can sit and enjoy the room or eat my food or learn my Mishna Berura by.
So based on what you're saying, if I understand correctly, you cannot have light in the room, like the menorah, without a shamus, because you're not going to show the difference between the holy and the non-holy. So according to what you're saying, you have to have a shamus lit every night. That's what you just said. Because you said that you have to make a hecker between this light and this light.
Right.
The only way to make a hecker is to have the menorah here and have a shamus over here.
Right.
So if I don't have a shamus and I just like the menorah and I have the whole room with electricity today especially, I'm not using the light of things, but you're not making a hecker.
Oh.
So you're saying that I need the shamus to make the hecker to show it. So even if I have light, I need a shamus.
But
am I right? Did I understand you correctly?
half right, because why? Because you've got your fireplace, right?
Right.
So you've got light in the room.
Right.
So we said if you got your fireplace burning and you got light in the room, you don't need a shamash,
Okay.
right? Because why?
Because you're not going to use the light to the.
We're not according to Mr. Berura, we're not talking about using. It's not use of light at this point. It's heker. It's heker. He seems to be saying differently than the Mechaber. The Mechaber said you need tzurich ner acher l'shtamish le'oiroi. You need another light l'shtamish le'oiroi. Now you need another light in order to use the light.
That's right. So that's the Mechaber.
Right.
So according to the Mechaber,
Yeah.
if you have a light, then you don't need the shamus. According to the Mechaber.
Because that's
what
you
he
said.
said.
You have a menorah. So
You have a
Mechaber,
light.
you have a light.
That's it.
I don't-
That's enough.
Now,
And according to Berura says
Yeah.
that it's because you want to show the difference between a mitzvah and not, right?
A heker.
A hecker. So to show a hecker,
Right.
then you have to have a shamus all the time, because a light is not enough to show a hecker.
Oh, so 1 second. So let's look again at the Mishna Berura, the second Mishna Berura. Im yesh medura, if you have your other fire source, right? You have your fireplace, for example. Yochel ishtanish lifnecha, and you're able to use that light, right? V'yesh heker shaner shel mitzvahi. And since you can use the light of that of the fireplace, you've got light that you can use, right? So apparently, why am I lighting a light that I don't need? It's an unnecessary light, right? It must be because this is a mitzvah night. This is a mitzvah light. This is a ner shel mitzvah.
Wait a second, I lost you.
I'm just reading Mr. Bright.
No, I understand.
Yeah. So
The candle of the day is the Ner Shel Mitzvah.
you're right, but how do we know it's a ner shel mitzvah?
Because if you want to go by the modern does, because everybody has a menorah, so we know it's I have light. I didn't light the shamus, okay, and I have a menorah, so everybody knows it's Chanukah. But I don't have the shamus to show the difference.
Okay.
Is that good enough according to the Mishnah Berura?
Not sure. I don't know. I mean, what if I don't have another candle? Should I put a label on it? This is a ner of Hanukkah. This is a mitzvah ner of Hanukkah. Would that be okay?
Let me tell you, according to what we learned in the beginning, that a person doesn't have money can only light one candle. So people come on the third night, he only has one candle lit. He doesn't have no money. So people are going to understand that he had no money. If they're smart enough, this is all. They're either going to say he's cheap, or they say, he didn't have money. He liked one menorah. So we're going to understand that. But here we're not talking about that. We're talking about what according to Mishnah is a hecker. Is it a hecker that enough light is in the room, or is because we're lighting an extra light next to the menorah, and that's the hecker? That's what I don't quite understand.
Well, you'll have to continue this, Mr. Shem.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I don't know. I'm not. What the Mishnah was telling me is something which needs to be. We're going to see the Mishnah, the Berura about this subject, and again, we haven't really determined in terms of the Mechaber, just understanding the straight expressions that the Mechaber uses, whether you need, if you're going to be lighting b'chutz, whether you need a shamish, whether you need a ner shel heker.
Maybe you don't need it because it's outside.
It's outside.
You're not using, nobody's using it. Everybody knows.
If it's a
mitzvah.
heker, what are you lighting outside for? Obviously it's a ner shel mitzvah. No one lights outside. Right?
had to speak because people walking by in those days
Yeah.
didn't have gas lights. So that if you didn't have a shamus even outside, people were going to use that as their light.
So that's the whole question. What's the essence of the shamus? Is the essence of shamus to permit usage of the light? Or
Right.
is it to make a hecker? No, to point out, to advertise that this is an Ner Shel Mitzvah.
We can come to the answer.
Maybe both of them.
I mean, it could be both.
Could be both.
Could be both. But according to Mr. Brewer, it seems it's apparently the Mr. Brewer is learning that it's a focus that this is a Ner Shel Mitzvah. This Ner here is a Ner Shel Mitzvah. It's
Okay.
not simply lit for the usage of light in the room,
Right.
right? It's a Ner Shel Mitzvah. Okay, we'll discuss it more next time. Mr. Shem after Shabbos.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.